Hello and welcome to this special edition coming your way from Nile TV International regarding the international developments and the strikes that took place between Iran, Israel and the United States and the latest economic and political developments. And we will be shedding more light with my guest over the phone, Dr. Moataz Abu Zaid, the Professor of International Law. Dr. Moataz, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International.
You are welcome, dear. Thank you.
Anytime. First of all, how did you see the immediate consequences on the political, the diplomatic and the economic levels for the region after the airstrikes that took place between Iran, Israel and the United States in the region?
Of course, this strikes today is a translation for the alternative and corresponding announcement since last days between USA, Israel in a camp and in the Iran forces or military forces in the other camp. Of course, this struggle or this fight between these two forces, one in the Middle East and of course one is supported by the USA, will have great effects for economic and of course many development strategies in this region, and of course it will make us remember what happened before as strikes last year between Israel and Iran. Of course it wasn't had the great effect, but it affects many economic and the political field, especially tension between, which is still upstanding till nowadays between Iran and Israel.
Dr. Moataz, we have seen a previous conflict, a previous armed conflict between Iran, Israel and the United States in the month of June for about 12 days. How far you think this conflict will be going on for, especially that it is very costly for all sides, more specifically for the United States, as the airstrikes and the operations taking place, maybe that could be taking place for a week, 2 weeks, a month, it could be costing billions of dollars.
Of course, I agree with you, and as the famous sentence or proverb said, history repeating itself, we cannot deny the great conflict between Iran and the USA, especially when it was upgraded by the manufacturing of the atomic bomb in Iran, and of course many international penalties that was performed upon this country, and on the other hand the treating between Israel and Iran, and of course the new way or the new shape of this war, which began, as you said, since last June for 12 years, and of course this is, we can say that it's the next episode in this fight between the two countries, and the interference of the USA weapon is constructing a new policy for war in the Middle East, which is war in agency, or to make an agent of your weapons and your troops to enter this war instead of you. And of course, according to the new assassination policy, that you are not making a war between two military troops confronting each other, but you are have certain targets and certain persons that you are searching for, and this will be the right targets or the right goals of this war, instead of being or have a stage for a battle for traditional wars as we saw before.
Dr. Moataz, today we have seen the statements by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the phone calls conducted between the Egyptian leader and the leaders of the Gulf states like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan and Qatar as well. How do you see the message of solidarity sent or being sent by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council?
Of course, no doubt that Egypt has a great role as a very great either economy, military, and foreign affairs policy and school in the Middle East region and of course in the Arabian region. And it was declared clearly by President Fattah al-Sisi that the Egyptian military forces is ready anytime for any attack, and of course it is totally supporting the stability of other Arabian states, especially the Gulf region. Of course, the Gulf region, they are the most near states or countries to the Iranian space, and of course the military scene there, and the existence of many American military bases in these countries made them great goals for Iranian fire. So these messages and these phone calls from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi reflect the great support from Egypt, and of course it assures that we are the greatest military force in this region, and of course we gained the respect of the whole world, and of course we are supporting our Arab brothers that may suffer any reflections of these strikes.
Yes, and speaking about the support given by Egypt to our brothers in the Gulf and in the Arab world in general, today we have seen Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdul Ati receiving and conducting several phone calls with his counterparts from the Arab world and the European Union as well. The phone calls that tackle the importance of consultations and to be de-escalating the tensions in the region. How do you think diplomacy could be winning over this situation?
Yes, of course, the diplomacy, and especially the school of the Egyptian diplomacy, had a great role in this situation, because always Egypt has the choice of peace, and always postponing the choice of entrance of any war with any other party. And on the other side, of course, Egypt is a very great and strategic ally for many of the Western countries, and of course the Egyptian foreign policy had a steady principle that to have a very clear distance or constant distance from all parties, and of course they are supporting the Arab countries, and on the other hand they had their ways and their bridges with other forces and great countries, especially in the European Union, to support the message of Egypt, and they standing behind the Arab countries may suffer these attacks.
Dr. Moataz, over the economic situation today, we have seen several top trading companies, especially the oil companies, they have suspended trading and the passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz. How do you see the importance of this strait, especially that it is being controlled by Iran and controlling about a fifth of the oil trade all over the world, and it could be causing inflation throughout the globe? How do you see the importance of the Strait of Hormuz and the future of it, especially during those developments?
Yes, of course, the postponing of this trips for oil gas in Hormuz Gulf, and of course the whole Gulf countries may have a great effects on the economy of these countries. Especially they are depending on this maritime movement, as they are great financial centers in this place, and of course this region or this Gulf is a very important region for oil trading from all over the world and to all over the world. And of course, on the other hand, as you said, it may not affect only the movement of this trade of oil and gas, but I think it may affect also the rates and percentages and tariffs of this trade, of course, because they will search for another alternative ways or lines of transportation. And of course, according to this tension of strikes in this region, they may search search for new regions or new ports for their trade. And of course, on the other hand, new strikes or new conflicts may stop these maritime movements for a while, and of course this will affect the interests and the work of these oil gas companies, especially the international one in this region, and this will have a great effect on the economy of these countries and of course the economy of these companies, and this will have effects on other relations for these investment projects with other countries and of course in the international trade as well.
Dr. Moataz, if we return once again to the statements of the Egyptian Foreign Ministry stating that diplomacy is the only way to be regaining the stability and the security of the region, how do you see the future of diplomatic solutions to the conflict that we have right now?
Of course, as we had a great experiences or previous experiences for wars, especially in the Middle East region, the war between Iraq and Iran, the war between in Syria, the war between in the sector of Gaza, and of course all these military conflicts gave us a great expectation that it's not the best choice to begin a war nowadays, especially after the COVID-19 problem which the whole world suffer, and of course the heavy load on the economic situations in every country, especially the Western ones, and of course the Arabian ones as well. So entering a new war or a conflict with military forces nowadays is not the best choice. And of course, on the other hand, if we are all the countries of the world are looking forward achieving of the sustainable development goals announced by the United Nations, of course military conflicts or wars may delay the achievement of these goals in the Arabian region. And of course we can add that the tension between Iran and Israel and the interference of the USA, as I said before, it may give a new shape of war in the Middle East that we are not common with, so they may be another reactions or reflects of this war that we cannot expect.
Yes, and speaking of reactions, how do you see the potential reactions of China and Russia to the current situation, especially that they have close ties with Iran?
No doubt that they will support the Iranian side in this war, especially they are looking for a steady or a stable place as a great force in the new international relations, and of course to gain some points after the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And of course this will be a new military scene for the Russian situation. Not sure for the military interference, but at least the support or the international opinion besides the Iranian side.
Yes, on the other hand, and on the economic level, how do you see the inflationary effects of this conflict worldwide, not just for the region?
No doubt the stability of this region and of course its many relations for trade and investments in the Gulf region is a very connected or widely connected with many investments and economics of many states, especially the USA and the Western countries, and that's why we are making connections now with the European countries to have an effective interference in this strike. And the rising of any military conflicts in this region, of course, this will be affected because many economic activities in these countries are based on the maritime movement in Hormuz Gulf, and of course especially the oil trade. And of course the oil trade is the first trade all over the world, can be affected by the political views or the military actions happened in any region, especially the region of the Gulf countries. So no doubt the postponing or delaying of any transactions in this trade in this region, especially nowadays, may affect a great movement of inflation, not only in the budgets of companies, but maybe in the
Dr.
national
Moataz
budget of
Abu
some
Zaid,
companies.
the professor of international law, thank you very much for being with us tonight on this special edition on Nile TV International.